The British Empire, once a global superpower, stretched its tendrils across continents, leaving an indelible mark on the world we know today. At its zenith, the empire was so vast that it was often said the sun never set on it. This phrase encapsulates the sheer scale and reach of British influence, which spanned from the bustling cities of India to the remote outposts in Africa, and from the Caribbean islands to the vast territories of Canada and Australia. From the Americas to Asia, Africa to Australia, the impact of British rule continues to reverberate. The British Empire was not just a political entity, but a cultural and economic force that reshaped the world. It introduced new systems of governance, education and trade, which have left lasting legacies in many former colonies. This vast empire, upon which the sun never set, played a pivotal role in shaping modern politics, economies, societies, and cultures. The British influence can be seen in the legal systems, languages, and infrastructures of many countries around the world. However, this influence was not always benign. Its legacy is a complex tapestry interwoven with threads of progress and exploitation, enlightenment and oppression. While the British Empire brought technological advancements and new ideas, it also imposed harsh economic policies and social hierarchies that exploited local populations and resources. This essay delves into the multifaceted legacy of the British Empire, exploring both its positive and negative impacts. Scholars have long debated the true cost of British colonialism, weighing the benefits of modernization against the suffering caused by imperial policies. It examines the long-term effects of British colonial rule on the world stage, highlighting the enduring influence of this bygone era. The infrastructure, legal systems, and educational institutions established during colonial times continue to shape the development trajectories of many nations. Through an analysis of historical events and their consequences, we can gain a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped our present-day realities. By studying the British Empire, we learn about the complexities of power, resistance, and cultural exchange. By grappling with the complexities of the past, we can better comprehend the challenges and opportunities that face us in the 21st century. Understanding the British Empire's legacy helps us navigate contemporary issues of globalization, inequality, and cultural identity. The legacy of the British Empire serves as a potent reminder of the interconnectedness of human history and the need for nuanced perspectives when examining the past. It underscores the importance of learning from history to build a more equitable and just future. The rise of the British Empire was a gradual process, spanning several centuries. It began with maritime exploration in the 16th century, establishing trade routes and colonies in the Americas and the Caribbean. The East India Company, chartered in 1600, further expanded British influence, eventually controlling vast swathes of the Indian subcontinent. The 18th and 19th centuries witnessed the peak of British imperial power. Victories in major conflicts, including the Napoleonic Wars, solidified British dominance on the world stage. The Industrial Revolution provided the economic and technological might to sustain this vast empire. However, the 20th century ushered in an era of decline. Two devastating world wars depleted British resources and manpower. Simultaneously, nationalist movements within the colonies gained momentum, demanding independence. The empire, once a symbol of British power, became increasingly untenable. By the latter half of the 20th century, most British colonies had achieved independence, marking the end of an era. The legacy of the British Empire is a subject of ongoing debate and scrutiny. Scholars and historians continue to examine the multifaceted impacts of British colonial rule, which spanned several centuries and continents. On the one hand, British rule brought about significant advancements in infrastructure, education and governance in many parts of the world. The construction of railways, roads and ports facilitated trade and mobility, while the establishment of schools and universities laid the groundwork for modern education systems. The English language, spread through colonial administration and education systems, became a global lingua franca, facilitating international communication and trade. This linguistic legacy continues to influence global business, diplomacy, and culture. However, these advancements often came at a steep price. The benefits of colonial rule were frequently accompanied by severe exploitation and oppression. Colonial exploitation, driven by a relentless pursuit of resources and profit, left many colonies economically crippled. The extraction of natural resources and the establishment of cash crop economies often disrupted local industries and economies, leading to long-term economic challenges. Cultural suppression and the imposition of Western values eroded indigenous traditions and identities. The introduction of Western education, religion, and legal systems often marginalized local customs and practices, leading to a loss of cultural heritage. The legacy of the British Empire is a complex tapestry woven from threads of both progress and exploitation. It is a history marked by both remarkable achievements and profound injustices. Understanding this duality is crucial for a nuanced understanding of the empire's impact. By examining both the positive and negative aspects, we can gain a more comprehensive view of how British colonial rule shaped the modern world. We must acknowledge both the positive contributions and the detrimental consequences of British rule to fully grasp its lasting influence on the world today. This balanced perspective allows us to appreciate the complexities of history and the enduring effects of colonialism. Only then can we engage in meaningful dialogue about the legacy of this period and its implications for the future. By fostering informed discussions, we can better understand the past and work towards a more equitable and just future. British colonialism, despite its many failings, did introduce certain advancements in its wake. These advancements were often double-edged swords, bringing both progress and exploitation. The development of infrastructure, such as railways, roads, and ports, facilitated trade and communication, albeit often designed to serve the interests of the empire rather than the local population. These infrastructures, while primarily benefiting the colonial powers, also laid the groundwork for future economic development in many regions. The establishment of these networks enabled the movement of goods and people, creating a more interconnected world. However, this connectivity often came at a high cost to local communities, who were frequently displaced or forced into labor to build these projects. Educational institutions, established by the British, played a role in disseminating knowledge and fostering intellectual growth, though access remained unequal. These schools and universities often prioritized the education of a select few, leaving the majority without the same opportunities. The English language, disseminated through colonial administration and education, became a global lingua franca. This widespread use of English has facilitated international dialogue and cooperation, but it also contributed to the erosion of local languages and cultures. This common language has had a profound impact on international communication, trade, and cultural exchange. It has enabled people from different parts of the world to connect and collaborate in ways that were previously unimaginable. The legal and administrative systems implemented by the British, while often favoring colonial interests, provided a framework for governance that some former colonies adapted and built upon after independence. These systems have influenced the judicial and administrative practices in many countries, shaping their modern-day governance. It is important to acknowledge these advancements, not to glorify the empire, but to understand the complexities of its legacy. The impact of British colonialism is multifaceted, with both positive and negative consequences that continue to resonate today. These developments, though often implemented with ulterior motives, have had a lasting impact on the world we know today. The infrastructure, education systems, and legal frameworks introduced during the colonial period have all played a role in shaping contemporary societies. Understanding this history is crucial for comprehending the present and navigating the future. The legacy of British colonialism is complex, and its effects are still felt in various aspects of life across former colonies. These developments, though often implemented with ulterior motives, have had a lasting impact on the world we know today. The infrastructure, education systems, and legal frameworks introduced during the colonial period have all played a role in shaping contemporary societies.